Singapore is one of Asia's key air hubs. Changi Airport operates over 3,700 commercial flights every week. With such heavy daily traffic over our congested airspace, the RSAF faces the challenging task of maximizing training opportunities for our pilots without compromising on safety. Careful planning and communication is paramount. This is where the RSAF's Flying Support Squadrons, or FSS, come in.
The role of the FSS for RSAF is to ensure all flying operations are conducted safely and efficiently out of the air bases. And for that, we have 4 flights in the squadron. The base operations, the air traffic control, meteorology office, and airport emergency services.
Each group contributes to various phases in a successful flying operation. Planning any flight operation begins here in the Base Operations Center, or BOC. As the Central Reporting and Dissemination Agency, the BOC plays a critical role in the command and control of different activities in the base. This includes scheduling flying programs, reserving airspace, and allocating the correct parking slots for different aircraft. The BOC has to maximize the use of finite physical resources and ensure there are no conflicting flying activities happening at the same time.
Personnel of BOC has the challenging task of meeting the base requirements for airtime, and this challenge is especially real in Paya Lebar Airport, which hosts foreign military and civil aircraft as well.
Daily exposure to fast-paced operations and regular cooperation with RSAF Air Movement Center, Immigration Department, ground marshalling units and BOCs from other air bases has enabled the BOC at Paya Lebar to support the base's involvement in large-scale multilateral exercises like Bersama Lima with confidence. Though the BOC tries to maximize training opportunities for our RSAF pilots, safety is always on top of their mind when planning.
Planning of our pilots' flying programs require us to be very meticulous. We have to ensure that flying program is deconflicted well against the flying restrictions.
The BOC, which operates 24/7, also ensures their personnel are trained to handle contingencies.
We conduct a scenario-based training regularly to drill them until they are able to respond to various contingency plans calmly, proficiently, in an orderly fashion under any trying circumstances.
The RSAF's flying operations span the globe. Pilots need to plan their overseas flight routes and file their flight plan before each flight. They do it at the flight plans office where resources are readily available.
Basically, they need to file this flight plan so that we can disseminate out the whole thing to other agencies, including other countries and the destination as well, so that they are aware of this flight transiting the airways.
During actual launch and recovery, our pilots are supported by another group. True to their call sign, Shepherd, the Air Traffic Control Flight, or ATC, guide and protect aircraft leaving and returning to base. But instead of sheep, they guide fearsome metallic flying machines. Acting as the pilot's eyes and ears from the control tower, the ATC provides situational awareness to base personnel both on ground and in the air. From weather notifications
Lightning risk at 2 now.
to the strict control of any vehicular movements on the airfield.
Tasco proceed to Whiskey 7.
More importantly, they provide pilots and squadrons with vital information and directions to facilitate safe launch and recovery of the aircraft. At Paya Lebar Air Base, the ATC handles an average of 100 flight movements a day, serving RSAF, foreign military and commercial flights.
With this high intensity of traffic, we can have many aircraft calling us at one time, and also the other ground handling agency calling us. That's why we have to work as a team. Okay, we have to work as a team, as a tower crew, everybody together to succeed in the smooth flow of air traffic.
The ATC team is also vigilant in minimizing any potential hazards on the airfield.
Besides maintaining our comm system, doing checks on our navigational aids, we also conduct daily airfield inspections prior to and also during flying operations to ensure that all the lightings are working and serviceable. And we also look out for FOD on the runway because this can be very potentially dangerous to aircraft operations as well. And at the same time, one of our main concerns in Paya Lebar is the birds that we encounter here, whereby once they collide with aircraft, it can also cause a lot of damage.
Safety is a value that is inculcated into trainee air traffic controllers even as they undergo the aerodrome and precision approach radar course at the Air Force School.
Lessons learned during the practical training are being briefed and shared by the trainee in daily briefs which they have over at the classroom as well as the simulator. Operational related incidents are also being shared by the instructors to the trainee so that the trainee can learn from it at the same time relate it to their training.
One of the most unpredictable threats to a safe flying operation is weather. This is where the Met Office lends its support.
Meteorology is a very important aspect for flying operations, and the timely dissemination of any advisories and warnings are critical to ensure safe and efficient flying operations. Could be very bad weather, it's better not to launch the aircraft at that point of time, and with this advisory or warning we can make a calculated decision, safe options to ensure the flying operation site is conducted safely.
There are times though when our pilots encounter low visibility when attempting to land. In these cases, our pilots are verbally guided with precision by top-down controllers at the approach control center.
In times of weather where our airfield is not visually acquired easily by pilots, the pilots will rely on the instruments to fly their aircraft. Okay? On our end as controllers, we'll pick up the aircraft on the radar and provide the course guidance and the elevation guidance to them. What our radar service provides is a center line, which we will bring the aircraft to be on the center line. Based on this center line and the glide path that we give to them, we will guarantee that they will touch down safely on the runway.
SQ-006 split into sections and a fireball ripped through the cabin.
With dangers being very real and having lives at stake, the FSS must be ready to respond to aircraft emergencies and crash disasters at all times. In this, the FSS is supported by the Airport Emergency Services, or AES. Trained by the Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore, AES personnel are specialists in fighting aircraft fires and rescuing trapped personnel. AES is ready to respond within 2 minutes of activation from either end of the airfield. To achieve this, the firefighters undergo realistic scenario training to handle emergencies big and small.
Our firefighters maintain a very high standard of physical fitness. They have to undergo annual IPPT like any other serviceman. They have to maintain a good physical endurance strength so that they can perform prolonged firefighting and rescue operations if necessary.
Paya Lebar FSS was put to the test during Operation Flying Eagle 2004. The airport was fully manned 24/7 over 2 months, providing support to international flights, bringing humanitarian aid to tsunami-hit countries. A mobile air traffic control tower was also sent to support the Banda Aceh airport. After the operation, one lesson stood clear.
That safety culture that we have inbuilt in us has helped us in ensuring that throughout the Operation Flying Eagle, all the operations were conducted safely without any problems. I think that was the biggest lesson learned for us.
From planning to direction to emergency response, the Flying Support Squadrons are ever present in keeping an eye out for our pilots. They are indeed our shepherds of the sky.